Want to soar? Get a mentor. Hey, it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos probably because you're the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you need the push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband, Evan Carmichael, and learn how Bill Gates saved Evan's business. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Live your dream.
Bill Gates saved my business. He doesn't know it, but when I meet him and I shake his hand, I'll tell him the impact that he had on a young 19-year-old Evan Carmichael who wanted to quit on his company because he felt like he wasn't good enough to keep going. In my first business, I had a software company. It was biotech software. I felt wholly unprepared. I'm 19 years old. I don't know much about software. I suck at science. It was my worst subject growing up in school, and now I'm running a scientific software company. And in that first year, I had a giant range of emotions. At the beginning, you're excited. It's like, yeah, I get to do this thing. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. I turned down my dream job to be able to do this instead of flying around the world and making 6 figures and doing the investment banking that I thought I wanted and my friends wanted. Here I was saying, no, I'm going to do my own business. Yeah, let's go. And then pretty quickly you realize, oh my gosh, this is so much harder than I thought. Can any of you guys relate? Have you gone through that journey yourself? And I isolated myself. I felt bad talking to my friends about it, that I wasn't having success because I turned down the jobs that they wanted. And when they wanted to go hang out, I had to pick one thing per month that I could do because $25 for pizza and beer, was too much for me. So to pick one thing per month that I could do. And I would tell them that I was just living the entrepreneur life. I'm hustling, I'm grinding, but really I was isolated, alone, and had no self-belief or self-confidence because I was working every day and just not seeing any results. So where does Bill Gates step in? I still haven't met him yet, but on the worst day of my life, when I quit on my business partner, I reminded myself that I can't quit yet, that I would live in regret if I quit now, and that somebody else must have figured this out before. And the first person I thought of was Bill Gates, because at the time, Microsoft was the biggest software company in the world. I had a software company. Maybe I could learn from him. That was as simple as it got. It was out of a move of desperation, feeling like I tried everything else and nothing was working. So maybe I could learn something from Bill Gates. And I researched his story. Not how does Bill Gates make an extra $1 million, now, but how did he start 0 to 1? How did he do that? Because I wanted to do something similar. And I found that he did it through partnerships. So their big deal, Microsoft's big deal, came when they partnered with IBM. And IBM was the biggest computer manufacturer at the time. And so every IBM that was shipped had Microsoft software on it. And that was a deal that blew up Microsoft, turned them into a huge company. But before they made that deal with IBM, they were still a $7 million company. $7 million is nothing compared to what they became, but it was still $7 million more than what I had at the time. So how did they get to $7 million? How did they get to $1 million? How did that happen? Still through partnerships. They had software and they constantly partnered with people who had hardware. They had computers, and here's our software that you can run on your computer, from their very first deal with the MITS Altair. And so I thought, that's interesting. How can I apply that? How can I find people to partner with instead of having me go off and sell one customer at a time? How can I partner with somebody who can then introduce me to tons of customers? And my first deal was with a company out of the UK, and we signed an exclusive arrangement for the UK, and they paid an upfront fee of $13,500. And I was so scared and so nervous to even ask for that because I'm making $300 a month. $13,500 is mind blowing. And I was nervous to send the email, like, you know what? I'm going to send it. We'll just see what happens. I'm going to trust in the Bill Gates partnership strategy. And they said yes, and we closed the deal. And more important than the money that came in was the hope. You're like, oh my gosh, momentum. You know how it feels when maybe you felt that a little bit in your business? Just somebody believes in you, a little bit of traction, a little bit of hope, a little bit of momentum. That I can just breathe for the next month. Just sometimes that's all you need to give the energy to keep going. And so that was it for me. And then it gave me even more momentum and more hope, and I got more deals and more partnerships. And so as a result of that, anytime I didn't know what to do, I modeled success. I asked, hey, who has done this thing before and how can I learn from them? I want to hopefully tell Bill Gates that story when I meet him and let him know the impact that he's had on my life. If you feel stuck, then what can you do? If you feel stuck in a hole, if you have a dream that you want to chase down, that you feel like you don't have enough momentum, let me give you a couple strategies that I think can help. Number one is find a mentor, right? Model success. You don't have to know the person, right? This is where I think a lot of these mentor rules break down, because everybody will say, find a mentor, find a mentor, find a mentor. Okay, but I don't know anybody, and I don't know anybody who knows anybody, right? I mean, I went to my banker asking for advice because I thought banks were supposed to give entrepreneurs advice and help. It's like how little I knew in starting my company. So Bill Gates became my mentor and he saved my business even though I have never met him. Look at who has done the thing that you want to do and go learn from them. There's clues, right? Success leaves clues. Find the people who have done that thing that inspire you, because it gives you the hope that it's possible for you too, and it gives you a specific strategy that you can apply. Seeing how Bill Gates started his first business, started Microsoft, gave me hope that I could do it too, but it also gave me a lesson to say, okay, go find partnerships. And that combination of the hope plus the strategy gave me the recipe to start to build my business. So go find mentors. It's why I make all these videos. There's so many channels now. There's so much content out there. If you love visual learning like I do, then there's a video every single day across multiple channels for you to go learn from. But if it's not my channel, you prefer books or podcasts, your heroes are out there sharing their wisdom. Use it. You don't have to go and sit down and have coffee with them to learn from them. I call them aspirational mentors. They're out there. Surround yourself with them. Learn from them, because they can help transport you from where you are today to where you want to be. Okay, so step number one, go find mentors. Step number two is get community. And honestly, this is the biggest mistake that I made in starting my first business. I had two business partners who were great. I don't know how I would have kept going without my two business partners. But we fought too. You know, when you're not making money, you start to disagree over the direction of the company. And I didn't feel like I had anybody I could talk to about the business and what I should be doing. I had no community. My parents were always willing to listen, but I was, embarrassed to keep going to them. And I definitely didn't want to talk to my friends because I turned down the jobs that they wanted to do this business, and I isolated myself. That's really just fear and insecurity talking. I probably could have gone to them and they would have been super supportive and fine and helpful. And then listen, if they're not, dump them and get new friends. But I was too afraid to do it. And I see now in my Movement Makers, for example, it's my monthly membership, the value of people being connected to each other. So Movement Makers, when they join, they're learning from me, awesome, but they also get to connect with other people who are doing something similar, who are on their mission, their journey. So you feel like you're not going through this thing alone. You need to find community, whether it's Movement Makers or your friends or other online communities. Don't go through this alone. Get a community of people who are like-minded, who you can pour into, right? It's not a one-way street. You can pour into them, support them, encourage them. And when you feel like your cup is empty, other people will pour into you in a loving way, telling you that you can do it, giving you hope, giving you optimism, giving you strategies, giving you a hug to help you get back up on your feet so you can go chase down your mission. So number one is get some mentors. Number two is get some community. And then number three is create a calendar for consistency. One of the biggest problems that entrepreneurs have is you start and you stop and 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 you're motivated and high and energetic and amazing. I'm going to go do this thing. And then it doesn't work out, or then you lose the motivation, or you feel frustrated, or you get scared again, or that little inner critic starts taking over and you don't follow through on the action. It's important that you create a calendar for success. If it's not in your calendar, it's not going to happen. So what are the objectives that you have for your business, for your relationships, for your health, for your goals? Like, what's the life that you want? To get the success that you're after comes down to the habits that you're executing on. And the habits should be in your calendar. So you can't say you want to go build the successful business, or if I was going to take Bill Gates' partnership strategy, I need to put it in my calendar. I'm going to spend this amount of time every day or every week working on partnerships. I need to identify who my potential partners are. I need to reach out to those partners. I need to follow up with the partners, right? That is scheduled time in my calendar every week to make sure that I actually go off and accomplish it. Because you might feel motivated today and you might do some action today. Awesome. That's not enough. It's the consistency in the follow through where you really start to win and achieve your goals. You've got a big dream inside you. That's why you're here. Why are you watching these videos? You got a dream. You want to be somewhere else. You want to be a better you. You want to contribute to others. You want to feel like you matter, like today matters, like what you're going to do and create is going to matter to people. You've got that dream inside you, not just for yourself, but for the impact that you want to create. But it doesn't happen until you actually start to create, to model the success, to get your community, and to create that calendar around the actions that you need to be doing, the habits daily. You do that, and we start to move from the land of dreams and hopes and wants and move into the land of achieving reality, impact, purpose. You've got that. You're capable. Now let's see you do it.
Rule number 2, find your drive.
Most people quit on things because they don't have a powerful mission or they don't know where their drive comes from. Chasing an opportunity isn't enough because you're going up against people who love that thing, who might be willing to die for that thing. If you want to go to Mars, you're competing against Elon Musk, who would die to go to Mars. You better absolutely love it or he's going to crush you. You need to find the thing that you love that does not feel like work. Otherwise, you'll end up working your entire life and hating it. So every Thursday when I'm in Toronto, I do this free event for Toronto entrepreneurs at my dance studio, Toronto Dance Salsa, 5 to 6 p.m. Thursdays when I'm in the city. I do a free event, Q&A session for an hour. Come out, meet me, talk, let's hang out, however I can help, give back to the community and help local entrepreneurs. My Thursdays are bonkers. My Thursdays are all day long interviews, hangouts, podcasts, Skype sessions, one-on-ones. My assistant books them in 25-minute chunks, and I have 25 minutes on, 5-minute break in between. Usually I use that break to get set up for the next one. 25 minutes, 5, 25, 5, 25, 5, the whole day long. And then I end up going to the studio, I record my podcast with Mark Drager. I then do 2 30-minute one-on-ones that we film for the YouTube channel. And then after all of that, I do a 1-hour Q&A for the entrepreneur community. And then after that, I'm doing more meetings with my team. It's crazy. And somebody asked me last Thursday, how do you have the energy for all of that stuff? I love it. Like, I love being there with the people. That group session is the best for me. I love it. I'm not getting paid for it. It's free. It's probably not a great use of my time. If I had to pick for 1 hour, what's the best use of my time? Hang out with startup entrepreneurs, ask me their questions, or do something like write my book or make my next course or something else. It probably doesn't make the most sense, but I love it. And so therefore it makes the most sense, right? And for other people, jumping into my schedule might be torture, and it should be. For me to jump into your schedule should be torture. I should look at your calendar and say, that's ridiculous. How do you have so much energy for all that stuff? And when you jump into mine, it should look the exact same. For me, when I gear up for Thursday, as an example, when I put my extrovert hat on, I gain energy as the day goes on. I'm not losing energy. By the time I hit 5 o'clock and I'm doing the group session with people, I'm carrying the energy of all the entrepreneurs that I've met on my 25-minute one-on-ones throughout the entire day. I love it. I gain more steam, but most things, ask me to do almost anything else for 8, 10, 12, 14 hours, I would hate my life. Ask me to make coffee for 10 hours a day, I would hate my life. Ask me to play piano, ask me to do almost anything for that amount of time, I would hate my life because it feels like work. And so you have to find the thing that does not feel like work. So then when you go off and do it, it actually gives you energy. So paying attention to the energy, if at the end of every day you're like, oh, this sucks. Like, that's a good signal that you're doing the wrong thing, because you have Michael Jordan level talent at something. You are a genius. You should be crushing it at something. And if the work that you're doing is draining your energy, if the people around you are draining your energy, chances are you're in the wrong spot. You're hanging with the wrong people. You're doing the wrong kind of work. And so how do you actually find the right kind of work? I got a process that's going to save you. It's called Who, Why, How. Let's dive into it. Step 1 is your who. Your who is your one word most important core value. And so think about what, if you had one core value, what is it? For me, it's believe. It's a part of everything that I do. Think about who your favorite teacher was growing up. Thinking about what your favorite song is, your favorite movie. There's connective tissue. There's a value that you have. There's one core value that stands out above all the other ones. I wrote a book on it. It's called Your One Word. Go through the process. It's one of the most important things you can ever do in your life. As soon as you figure out what your one word is, your who, then that shines a light on your life, right? So for me, it's belief. It shines a light on every area of my life, on my business, on my relationships, everything. And if you are not happy, it's because you are living out of alignment with your who. You're living out of alignment with your one word, most important core value. If I was unhappy in my life, it's because there's a lack of belief somewhere. With a relationship, in my business, something. There has to be a lack of belief. It's the same thing for you. Alex's one word is belong. Alex helps me run Toronto Dance Salsa. We're changing the whole branding around TDS now to be around belong, because that's his one word, and he's going to bring belongingness. What do we sell at TDS? Not just how to do dance moves. It's belongingness. People lack belongingness and a sense of community. Come to TDS. We'll take care of you. And so what's your one word? What's your most important core value? Most people have no idea what it is, and so you're walking aimlessly through life. Figure this out. It is one of the most important exercises you will ever do in your life. What's your who? Step 2 is your why. Understand that your purpose comes from your pain. The people who go on to do amazing things likely suffered a lot. I've never seen somebody go off and crush it and have amazing results in any area of life without coming from some source of suffering. A lot of pain growing up at some point. Whatever you struggled with, whatever you suffered with, whatever the most painful moment of your life is, ask yourself, what is the most painful moment of all time in my life? What is that thing? When you figure it out, understand this, your why, your purpose will be, for the rest of your life, helping people who are currently going through the thing that you went through. I love helping entrepreneurs because I struggled so much as an entrepreneur. I felt worthless as an entrepreneur. I felt worthless as a human being when I was in my first business that was bringing no value, that was getting no results. I felt terrible, ashamed, embarrassed, alone. And that's why I do what I do. I want to help entrepreneurs not struggle as much as I struggled. That's my why. And your who and your why is for life. I want to believe in entrepreneurs. Why believe? I told you the story. Why entrepreneurs? I told you the story. I could believe in anybody, but entrepreneurs are going to be the people for me for life. For life. That never goes away. And that's more clarity than 99% of the world has. Just figuring out your who and your why is more clarity than most of the world. The last part is the how. Who, why, how. How becomes how you're going to help people get through it. So however you got through it, whatever you struggled with, that you made your way through, even if you're not fully through it yet, but you're better than when you were before, right? When you were in the hole, when you're at the worst moment of your life, the person who you are today could go back and talk to that person and give them some advice and help them. There's a lot of people who are currently in that situation that you were in. And how you got out of it is a recipe for other people. How did I get out of it? For me as an entrepreneur was modeling success, was looking at who else has built successful companies that I can copy, model, apply to my business. Bill Gates saved my company, even though I've never met him, because I looked at the strategies of how I went to 0 to 1. Now, what have I done for the past 20 years? Share strategies from famous entrepreneurs on my website, now on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram. That's what I do. I love sharing my own voice and also DJing other people's content because I want to learn from Steve Jobs. I want to learn from Kanye West. I want to learn from Oprah. I want to learn from these people. And I want you to do too. And so the path that you took through isn't just this isolated incident. It becomes a recipe that other people can model as well, and you can teach it. Your how will evolve. Modeling success when I started was books. I was reading books. I was reading biographies. Now it's making YouTube videos. In 10 years, it might be virtual reality, your hologram Evan beaming into your room, right? It's going to change. The how will change as technology evolves, but your who and your why are for life. And so if you don't feel like you're motivated, if you don't have the drive, if you don't know your mission, go through the process. Your who, your why, your how. Do it. Take the time. It will revolutionize not just your business, but your life. And you're set up to follow that path for the rest of your life. So it's worth a 5, 10, 15, 60-minute session to sit down and try to figure it out.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to shift that habit forward. So I've designed a special free program to help you get more self-belief for every day. For 254 days, I will send you an email to an unlisted video that if you watch it, will shift your confidence forward. The links to join for free are in the description below.
For me, my goal is to help building entrepreneurs. And so I always want to work on projects that have the ability to have a massive impact. That's what I strive for every single day.
Find whatever the smallest first step is, and then the smallest next step is, and continue to build those steps. And when you look back, you'll have realized that you made some pretty significant progress.
Don't go to them asking for help first. Go to them with value first so that they're stumbling all over themselves to try to find a way to help you out too. Bring value first.
Rule number 3, find sacrifices.
There will be moments in your business where you will need to have superhuman strength to keep going, where it just demands everything from you, every single ounce that you have. But if you need to have superhuman energy every single day, you're gonna burn out and fail. So whenever I wanna try something new, when I'm testing something new, I always eat into some of my reserves. It may mean to go off into this new project, I'm gonna sleep less or spend a little bit less time working on my book or a little less time working on my YouTube channel, right? You eat into these reserves, but that's not sustainable. If that's what you're doing constantly, you're gonna be unhappy, you're gonna burn out, you're gonna fail. So a quick example, Sadhguru came to Toronto. Sadhguru, if you don't know, he's a yogi, he's an Indian mystic. We did a top 10 on him. He then invited me to come to his event in Toronto and then do a one-on-one interview with him close to the Toronto airport, the island. It was amazing, great time. Out of that, he says, Evan, I want you to come to my multi-day event in the US. I want you to come, be a VIP guest there. It'd be amazing to have you. Awesome. But before you do that, you have to do my 7-day program where you have to meditate every day for 7 days. And I think it's an hour plus every day. I didn't have an hour a day. Right? I mean, that's not part of what I had in my calendar. Every hour in my calendar is accounted for. It doesn't mean I'm working all that time, but I might be spending time with my wife. I might be spending time with my son. Every hour is accounted for. And so to do this, I had to eat into some of my reserves. And so for that one, I asked Nina, I said, Nina, if you're gonna come with me, you have to do this too. Do we want to spend our hour in the evening, instead of watching a show, instead of relaxing, to do this program for 7 days for meditation? And she said, yes. And so here's the thing, we did it for 7 days and we went to the event, it was awesome. If it was something that we were going to continue, if we were gonna meditate every day for an hour ongoing, then I'd have to readjust my schedule. Your success comes from your habits. You need to figure out what a balanced life looks like for you. Now, ultimately, I don't meditate an hour every night. I do some healing meditation for my neck every morning, but that habit didn't stick, and that's okay. So when you're testing new habits, testing new ideas, testing something for your business, or some emergency comes up that you have to deal with, it's gonna tap into your reserves. You can't be running your business at full capacity already. You can't be running your business on zero, on empty, because that means there's no extra gear. That means that when life punches you in the face, you can't handle it. That means if you want to try or taste or test something else, you can't do it because you have no reserves, you have no battery, there's no more gas in the tank. And so that's where a lot of entrepreneurs live. That's where it's really troublesome. That's where a lot of entrepreneurs will end up burning out, failing, and crushing their dreams because you're just running with no gas left in the tank. And so you can stretch yourself. I think that's normal. I think that's okay. I think life will hit you in the face. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, here comes another punch. That will happen. But it's making sure that you can live that balanced life, whatever balance looks like for you. So how do you handle these things when they come up? I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is tell yourself it's the best. When life punches you in the face, when you get some crisis that happens, I try to run a no crisis business, but that is not always possible. Stuff will still happen, and if it's not in your business life, it'll happen in your personal life. When life punches you in the face and you can't get out of it and you have to address it, you have to deal with it, instead of living in the land of negativity and complaining and why me and despair and desperation, I flip it. I complain for 8.5 seconds and then say, this is the best. It's the best. This is the best thing ever. Because what it does is it puts you in a state of resourcefulness. It puts you in a place where you can then go and solve the problem. So I'm going to meditate for an hour a night. This is the best, right? I'm sitting next to the smelly dude on the airplane. It's the best. Because what's the alternative? You're stuck next to the smelly guy on the airplane. What's the alternative? The alternative is you sit on the plane and you're upset and you freak out and you complain and you're negative and grumpy and unhappy. And that's not going to allow you to create beautiful, amazing things for your business or your life. So when you're forced into that situation, when life hits you by surprise, tell yourself this is the best. This is your chance to prove to yourself and the world what you're actually made of. Step number 2 is if this is an ongoing problem, then you need to fix your life. right? If it's every single day that this is happening, then you can't tell yourself it's the best every day, because it's the best allows you to tap into those reserves. It allows you to find that extra little bit of juice in the gas tank to keep going and solve this big problem. But if it's every day that you're stressed out to the max, that you're not sleeping, that you have no energy, that you're hating the work that you're doing, you need to fix your life. You can't get up every day and just tell yourself it's the best, because you're going to run out of energy. There's no reserves left. You will fail. You will disappoint yourself. You will just run out. And so you are what you consistently do. You look at your calendar and there's something in there that is broken. You need to fix your life if every day you are stressed out. And then step number 3 is schedule for success. So your habits will dictate your success. Your actions need to map to your ambitions. What balance looks like for you needs to be reflected in your habits. You can say, here's what balance looks like for me, but if you're not living it, you're not going to be happy, and you're going to run out of energy, and you're going to burn out, and you're going to start to hate your life. So what does a balanced life look like for you? How much time do you want to spend with your family, with your significant other, on your business, on yourself, personal development, working out, singing, hobbies, dancing, friends, whatever it is that you want to do? What does a balanced life for you look like? And this is something that only you can judge. What I do, what The Rock does, what Sadhguru does, what Dan Locke does, what anybody that we profile, whatever they do, what Elon Musk does. Don't compare yourself to Elon Musk and his schedule. You can use his schedule as guidance, as an idea, as here's something that somebody is doing that is possible, but maybe that's not for you. You try on the hat and then you see. So you have to decide, what does balance look like for you? And then take out your calendar every day of the week from Sunday to the next Sunday and put everything in. Here's how much time I want to spend on these different activities. Because if you want balance and it looks like this, and then you look at your calendar and it's totally different, you're going to run out of energy and not like your life. Schedule for success.
Rule number 4, let your genius out.
You have 2 choices in life. Choice number 1. Chase your dreams and risk upsetting some people who don't get it. Or choice number 2, play small for life and never do what you're capable of because you're afraid of what some people will say about you. Most people play small and live a life of regret. I want to put pressure on you today to step into your fear and step into your potential. So yesterday I shot a 10-part series with Neil Pasricha. He is an author who's sold over 1 million books. And I did a 10-part series. I said, Neil, I have a series on how to make $1 million in different industries. I want to do a 10-part series with you on how to sell 1 million books. You've done it. Most people have never come even close. I want to pick your brain, dissect it, understand what makes people successful, and how to sell 1 million books. And he said yesterday on camera that his default reaction was, who am I to do this? I mean, I just got lucky. Yeah, I don't know how I did it. And he was afraid to come on and actually share some of his tips because most people don't ask him this question. It's like, I've never been asked this question before. I don't know how to respond. I'm afraid of coming on camera on a YouTube channel with you, a friend of mine, and looking dumb and having nothing to say. And because that was part of the reason, he had to go off and do it. And so he came up with a list of 10 things. He came up with his ideas. He said, no, I work hard. Neil's one of the hardest working authors of all time. Neil is constantly working, constantly grinding, constantly finding new opportunities to write books and promote his books. He got there not out of just luck. He got there because he worked really hard at it. And I pulled out those lessons from him. And that's the mindset that I want people to take. That's what I want you to take. That you're not in your situation because you're lucky. You're good. You could be better. You could still grow more. But you're a genius. You're talented, you're amazing, and you need to let that shine. You need to let that out. And some people may watch you, they may watch your videos, they may read your books, they may see what you produce and say, this person is so full of themselves, this person doesn't get it. Like, you're not going to appeal to everybody. Even me, even my message, I'm not a controversial guy, right? My message is believe. How do you hate on believe? People do. Right? I'm not coming out with my channel and saying this person sucks and talking politics and all these things that you know are going to trigger people. Right? That's not who I am. I want to spread belief. And yet, even though I think we've got one of the best communities online in the YouTube community, people are often toxic on different channels, but shout out Believe Nation, fist bump, love you guys. It's positivity. And yet, we still have people who are negative. They don't get it. They want to spread negativity in my community. And so what do? Should the answer be, well, I'm not going to post content because I'm worried about what this person is going to say? Should I not post content because I'm not happy with the end result? I mean, it was 350 videos I made public before I wasn't completely embarrassed by my content. embarrassed. Like I couldn't watch it back. I was so embarrassed. Like, oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. Post. Next, move on to the next one. And with practice and repetition, you get better. I've done 6,000 something videos, so it took me a long time to get there. You might be able to get there a lot faster, but it's very rare that you start off and the first thing you do pops. And even if it does, don't expect everybody to love it. You're going to get people who will not like what you do. When my Sears with Neil comes out, he was afraid to do it. He stepped into it. He crushed it, has amazing advice. Somebody's going to watch that and say, this is stupid. This is never going to work. Oh, it'll work for him, but it won't work for me. You're going to get that. And it's more reflection on them. It's them. Like if the best part of their day is coming and leave a negative comment on your video, on your book, on your Amazon reviews, right? If that's the highlight of their day, how crappy does their life have to be? Like they hate their life. Imagine the amount of negativity somebody has to have to come to a YouTube video and leave negative comments and spread hate. Their life has to suck. So don't play on their level. Don't be so afraid of what somebody's going to say that it reduces you from doing the thing that you want to do. Because otherwise, if you're constantly living in that fear of a tiny minority who are vocal, expressing anger or distaste towards you, you'll never do anything. You'll be in a constant state of paralysis, of fear. And then it'll be over. Then your life will be over. And you'll look back and say, I could have done something amazing and I didn't because I was afraid. And so I want to apply pressure today so that doesn't happen. So I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I want you to use that I think will really help. Step number 1 is when your heart beats, you do it. If your heart's beating, you're afraid, you're nervous, you're scared, do it. Teach yourself. This is a signal. This is the signal that you need to act. This is not a signal to play scared. You do things that are scary. You do things that are difficult. You step into the fear, right? You have to go do the thing. Now, as long as it falls within your moral bounds and you're not going to hurt yourself or somebody else, right? There are very few things that fall into those categories, right? You're not going to say, oh, I'm afraid to touch that saw, so and then you cut your hand off, right? Don't do that. Be smart. But most of the things that you're afraid of are other people's judgment. You're afraid of failing and somebody seeing it. You're afraid of the comments that are going to come back, and so you have to attack it. And so try to find something today. Try to think of an idea that you come up with, and then you're nervous, you're afraid. Do it. Teach yourself. I'm the kind of person who does it. When I feel nervous and afraid, I step into it, right? Every time that you do it, every time that you catch it and you do it, you start building more self-respect, more self-pride, more self-love, more self-confidence. And every time you're afraid and you play small, it goes the opposite way. It's not just staying stable, it goes the opposite way. You're building more self-hate. You're respecting yourself less every single time. So when you catch it, train yourself. I do scary things. Attack it. Step number 2 is adopt the Quincy Jones rule. Quincy Jones had one of the greatest clips of all time, at least for me.
Not one drop of my self-worth depends on your acceptance of me.
Powerful, right? Not one drop, not one drop, not one drop, not 1 ounce, not one little bit of your opinion of me impacts my self-confidence. That's where you want to get to. It's more, what do you think about yourself? Are you proud of yourself? Are you proud of your effort? Especially some stranger who doesn't know you. What they think about you, that's going to let you stop you from doing the thing that you want to do? Not 1 ounce, not 1 drop, not 1 centimeter of my self-worth, my self-identity comes from your opinion of me, right? And that may be a lie at the beginning for a lot of you, but tell yourself that because it's motivational. It's inspiring. When your heart's beating like this and you're trying to find the drive to go off and do it, it's scary, right? I mean, that's the whole point. We're not just you don't want to do not scary things all your life. If you're never scared, that means you're always inside your bubble. You're photocopying your same day over and over. You don't want that. You want to do scary things. And if the reason why you're afraid to do it is because of somebody else's opinion, and you know you need to do it, heartbeat test, remind yourself of the Quincy Jones rule. Right? Why are you doing it? Because you want to be the person where not 1 ounce, not 1 drop of your self-worth comes from somebody else's opinion of you. And step number 3 is to remind yourself that you're the tree. Entrepreneurs and leaders, we're trees. We're trees. Think about, what does a tree do? A tree breathes in carbon dioxide, right? Breathes in carbon dioxide, which is poison in quantities for humans, right? You taking too much carbon dioxide, you're going to die. It's poisonous. A tree takes it in, breathes it in, eats it, grows from it, and then spits out oxygen positivity for the world. That's what a tree does. That's what you do. As an entrepreneur, as a leader, that's what you do. Your job is to take on the poison to eat it, to grow from it, and then spit out positivity for all the people who are like you. For everybody who looks like you, who sounds like you, who wants to do the thing that you're doing. Even if you don't make it, just the fact that you're willing to try is an inspiration for everybody watching you. Where if you are cowardly, if you feel the fear and you don't do it, what you're saying is it's okay to be ashamed. It's right to be ashamed. You're giving into that shame, that fear. Where you should be lifting people up, showing people as an example. I'm an introvert. I didn't want to tell my story. How does an introvert go and become YouTube famous? You know, this is it. Follow my journey. You can follow me along the path where I didn't want to tell my story. I didn't want to talk about myself. I thought I was too egotistical and I thought nobody would care. Right? All of these things. And then by doing it, what you're doing is you're providing a shield for other people who are like you. You're providing a shield. So for me, I'm making a shield for other introverts to say, hey, you can go and be on camera too. It may take you some time, but it's possible. And so reminding yourself, you're a tree. Humans are built to serve. You want to serve people. You want to help others. Your highest purpose will come from helping other people. And this is how you do it. How do you help people? Well, you help people through difficulties. You can only help people through a difficulty that you've been through. So this thing that you're so afraid of is your next difficulty that you're going to go through. And then you can serve other people and help them go through it too. And the fact that you're willing to try becomes that inspiration and motivation for them. And if you make it on the other side, the further you go through this, the more you're fighting and cutting the weeds and dealing with all the issues that you have, the more you're tackling the fears, the more you'll be able to help other people, the bigger a tree that you'll be. If you tackle small little issues that you're kind of afraid of, then you'll become this little plant. And you can help people who just have those little tiny fears. You take on bigger things that you're really afraid of, that cut to the core of who you are, you'll be this huge tree. You're going to serve the world. Entrepreneurs and leaders, we're trees. You're a tree. Breathe in the poison. Grow from it. Spit out oxygen for the world.
Rule number 5, the last one before our very special bonus clip, keep going.
The only thing you're missing is momentum. You've got all the tools available to you. It has never been easier to build your dreams, to reach an audience, to create the company you want. Never easier. All you're missing is momentum. Sustained, daily, ever-present momentum. And today, I'm going to show you how to get it. One of the only reasons why I've had success on YouTube is I just kept going. When I first started on the platform 11 years ago, it's crazy that it's been that long. You can kind of see some of the awards behind me here, behind the books. Buy, Build to Serve, it's an amazing book. 11 years ago when I first started, my first video was on Walt Disney. I had my friend, Mark Drager, huge friend of the channel, come in and help film it for me and help edit it for me. And in the first year of that video being up, there were only 3 comments on it. One was my mom, one was my older sister, and one was some other random guy who commented on my video, right? In a year of my first video going up, only one person that I didn't know commented on the video. YouTube at the time was not a long form platform. YouTube 11 years ago was something that people were posting really silly meme videos and just jokes and pranks, but really short form videos. Nobody was making long videos, 10-minute videos, 12-minute videos. It didn't exist. And it took me 5 years to get to 7,000 subscribers. I knew because that's when I passed 1 million views. After 5 years, I crossed 1 million views and I got 7,000 subscribers. And then in the past 6 years, it's gone from 7,000 subscribers to 2 point whatever million and 1 million views to 300 whatever million views. I just kept at it. Now, my journey doesn't have to be your journey. It doesn't have to take you that long if you're trying to build up a YouTube channel. It may, but it doesn't have to. One, I'm super introverted and nervous and filming. And even now, this stuff makes me nervous getting in front of the camera because I want every video to be the best that I've ever done. YouTube at the time was not an educational platform, and it's changed. So there's lots that was against me, but the only reason why I've passed so many other creators is just because I kept going. Because I had the thing that most people miss, which is momentum. The only thing you're missing is momentum. It was actually sad for me for when I passed some of the speakers that I looked up to and I aspired to be like from a speaker point of view, because I figured these guys are so much more talented than me. These guys have so many more abilities than me. They're more naturally gifted and they put in so much work to be great speakers. And it made me sad when I passed them on YouTube because I felt, man, these guys, they should be out there more. I feel like their message needs to be heard. The only difference was I was just putting in more work on YouTube. They're off doing their other things as well. But from a YouTube perspective, I was just
building more momentum. I just had more sustained energy to it. And you see this so often with entrepreneurs, not just YouTube, entrepreneurs. So often you got a great idea and you start and there's so much energy and momentum, and then you don't get immediate results, and so you stop, and then you get motivated again and you keep going, and then you quit again and you give up. It's that sustained, evergreen, ongoing daily momentum that you're missing. Even if it's just an hour a day, maybe you have a job, you need to survive. Awesome, I understand. Yes, pay the bills. You don't have to burn all the boats and burn all the bridges as the only way that this business is going to take off. Sustained momentum every single day has to be part of what you're doing. And so I've had success on YouTube because I've made 6,000 videos. Again, I'm not super talented. It took me a long time to get here. I'm a result of just every day getting up and doing the work. And chances are, whoever your heroes are, whether it's Tony Robbins or Steve Jobs or Oprah Winfrey, or whoever it is, look at their story. It was every day getting up, doing the work, even if they weren't getting results, knowing that the only thing missing, the only thing you are missing is that sustained momentum, because you're a genius, you have a great idea, that idea needs to be birthed into the world, you're just not doing enough daily action to make it actually happen. Okay, so here's the 3-step process that you need to go through to get the momentum that you're looking for to build the dream business that you want to build. Let's go. Number 1 is don't wake up like an accident. Most people wake up like an accident. Most people, they wake up, they pull out their phones and they start responding to other people's emergencies, right? Your email, your text, your messages are other people's emergencies and demand for your time. Don't make your emergency my emergency. Successful people don't wake up like an accident. You have a plan. And the most important part of a daily routine in the morning is doing the thing that makes you feel bold, powerful, unstoppable, confident. Maybe it's watching an espresso video. Every weekday morning is a video just for you. It could be the 254 series that you just saw a promotion for, where every morning you get a video about how to have more confidence for free delivered to you. But if it's not me gifting it to you, find your own thing, right? What is the thing that makes you feel bold, powerful, confident, unstoppable, alive? And then doing that every single morning, because you could have the greatest day of all time today, but tomorrow you're starting over. Every day when you wake up, you're starting over. And successful people demand the best from themselves every morning by creating a routine instead of waking up like an accident. Stop waking up like an accident and create a powerful morning routine. Number 2 is schedule for success. So I'm a big believer that your actions map to your ambition. So you look at your calendar, see what's ahead in the week, right? Whatever day today is, look for the next 7 days. What's in your calendar? What are you doing? You have goals, ambitions, dreams, desires. You say you want to create this amazing thing. Awesome. I love it. I'm cheering you on. Show me in your calendar where those things are happening. For your business, for your personal life, it has to be in your calendar. You could have the greatest intentions of all time, but if it's not scheduled in, it's never going to happen. Life is going to get in the way. Other people's demands for your time is going to get in the way. Other things that they think is super important for you to do is going to get in the way. And the only way that doesn't happen is if you schedule it in. I haven't met too many entrepreneurs who just have so much free time and they don't know what to do with all this insane time that they have, right? You're busy. You've got amazing things that you want to get done. And you've got lots of people who want things from you as well. You have to block out the big things in your life. For me, I block different things for different days. So after my morning routine, Monday is my mentoring day where I mentor the people on my team. Tuesday is my YouTube day where I film YouTube videos for you guys. Wednesday is my project day where I work on my book right now, my YouTube course, and my Movement Makers membership group. Thursday is my public-facing day. I'll do 11 to 12 different interviews, podcasts, hangouts, Skype calls with people that build the message. Friday is my CEO day where I work on bigger projects to help build my brand. Saturday is fun days with my wife. I'm not working. Don't try to reach me on a Saturday. It's not going to happen. Sunday is family admin day where it's doing the laundry and going to Costco and whatever you have to do around the condo, all that kind of stuff. And then it repeats on Monday again, right? That's scheduling for my success. Schedule for your success as well. Your big goals, your big aspirations, your big dreams. If there's no time in the calendar in the next week where that's going to happen for you, then you're not going to make any momentum towards actually achieving the life that you want. Schedule for success. And number 3 is scary, difficult, or hard. Try to teach yourself that when you hear the words scary, difficult, or hard to yourself, that you have to do it just because. One of the biggest things that stop momentum is because it's scary to do the thing that you need to do, it's difficult, or it's hard. These are the things that prevent us from moving. You know you can do great things, but you're constantly stuck because whatever that thing ahead of you is scary, difficult, or hard. So teach yourself. If you start hearing yourself, I want to go off and do this thing. This is what I would love to do with my week, or this is the call that I need to take, or this is the place that I need to be. And if the reaction, the voice inside your head says scary, difficult, or hard, that is no longer a good enough reason not to act. You love scary. You embrace difficult. Hard is your best friend. If there's nothing in your calendar that is scary, difficult, or hard, you hate your life. That just means you're photocopying the same day over and over and over again. That is not the life that you want. The life that you want is on the other side of scary, difficult, or hard. So if there's something that you want to do, and the voice in your head says scary, difficult, or hard, you have to go off and do that thing. Just because you're not allowed anymore to tell yourself scary, difficult, or hard and then back down. Because that's the mental voice telling yourself that you suck. It's pushing through it and saying, I'm amazing. I'm going to go off and do this scary, difficult, or hard thing. And bonus points, tell the people in your life. Tell your husband, tell your wife, tell your kids, tell your friends, tell your family. If you ever hear me say the words, well, that's scary, that's difficult, that's too hard, I need you to remind me of this moment. I need you to remind me of who I am. And then I'm going to jump in and do it because I love scary, difficult, and hard.
The only thing you're missing is momentum. You're a genius. You have great ideas. That idea you have in your head is amazing, can work, can make a lot of money, can impact the world, can serve the people around you. You're a genius. You've got Michael Jordan level talent at something. You've got Grant Cardone level talent at something. You, even though everybody telling you can't, nobody's done it in your family before, nobody's done it in your community before, you can do it. You've got it. The only thing, the only thing that you're missing is momentum. You're not doing enough. You're not getting enough results. You're not getting the little wins. The little wins lead to bigger wins, lead to more wins, lead to bigger wins, lead to bigger wins. Momentum. I have a YouTube course that I put out, and once a month I'm in a Facebook group, and we do a live chat with the people who bought the course to help them continue to grow and blow up their channel. And 2 days ago I posted in the group to say, hey, for our next call that's coming up, what do you want to learn? How can I help? We've got this once a month time together, you and me, solo time, like what can I help you with? What topics do you want to learn more about? And you know what the number one response was? The number one response that people voted up was how to stay motivated when you're not getting results. How to stay motivated when you're not getting results. It wasn't a tactical thing. It wasn't how do I fix my thumbnails? How do I fix my intros? What do I title my video? Do you like my color scheme? What topic should I create? How often do I post? How long should a video be? None of that stuff. It's how do I stay motivated when I'm not getting instant early results? And so that's what we're going to talk about next week on the call when we get on. And I think back to when I first started. And there's lessons here for you, not just if you're interested in YouTube, but whatever you're doing. When I first started, I started speaking before I started doing YouTube. And I remember I would go and do a speaking gig, and my first one, only 3 people showed up. And I would feel such a high after the speaking gig. Like, man, what this matters. This is amazing. I just helped some people. And then I'd wake up the next day and feel no energy, no momentum. It's like, man, I don't believe in myself anymore. Who am I to go and do this? All of a sudden, the question, the doubt, the insecurities just take over again. Like, where was the Evan from yesterday? And so what I did was, after every time I did a presentation, I asked for feedback, and people would email me their feedback, and the best feedback I put into a PowerPoint file. I put into a PowerPoint file, and I'd watch this presentation every morning that I made, super simple, put it to a music soundtrack that I like, and it would just be instant, over and over and over again, all the feedback that I got to remind myself that the work that I did matters. Because yesterday it felt amazing because I was out there speaking and helping people, but today it doesn't feel real anymore. It's crazy how that can happen overnight. And so I watch the PowerPoint file every morning to remind myself that the work that I do matters, that this is happening, that even if I've only touched 3 people, I touched 3 people. It helped them. It was meaningful to them. And I have to keep going, right? It's the small wins. The momentum. The only thing I was missing was momentum. The same thing for you. When I first started on YouTube, the first video that I put up was on Walt Disney. And my mom commented on it, and my sister commented on it, and then one other random person that I don't know commented on it in the first year. So think about it. The first year of me having my YouTube channel up, my first video, 3 comments on that video. And one was my mom and one was my sister, so only really 1 comment from a stranger, someone I didn't know,
on my first video after 1 year of it being live. Isn't that crazy? And so what I would do is I'd look at my comments every day, and even though they'd be the same comments because I wasn't getting very many, even seeing my mom's comment or my sister's comment or that one random dude's comment, knowing that, hey, it touched that one random dude. I have to keep going. I gotta keep moving it. Now I'm spoiled. You know, every day I still look at comments as part of my daily routine, as a reminder to myself. This stuff, the beach views, that kind of stuff, that doesn't motivate me. That doesn't motivate me. It's fun being here. I'm blessed and grateful to have the kind of business that can take me here and travel around the world and do speaking gigs and all that kind of stuff. It's amazing. But the thing that gets me up, that motivates me, that fires me up, is knowing that people are consuming my content and it makes a difference. That's a pelican right there. We've been trying to get that pelican all day. Where's he going? Where are you going, pelican? Look. Hold on. Oh, where'd he go? I'm losing him. Where'd he go? Okay. These pelicans are hard to catch. Anyway, knowing that the work that I do matters. And so still today, even though we get, I don't know how many comments every day, it's still the first thing that I do is I look at the comments. Every single morning, look at the comments to know that the work that I do matters. And I would highly encourage you to do the same. Whatever that equivalent is. If you're making YouTube videos or Instagram content, look at the comments every day. Even if they're the same comments as yesterday, it's okay. Like, the work you do matters. It touched somebody. That's the momentum you need to just keep going and make one more video, one more piece of content. If you're making products or services for customers, whenever you're talking to somebody, if you have an email exchange, save the best parts. Save it and put it into a Word file or a PowerPoint file and look at it every day or post it on the wall. Print out the email and put it on the wall. So you look at it every day and like, I matter. The work I do matters, touches people, is meaningful. I gotta do more of it, because even if I'm not helping 1 million people yet, I'm helping one person, 2 people, 4 people. That feeling that the work that you do matters, even to 4 people, it's enough to give you the energy to keep going and doing something again today. That's what's missing from most people. That's what's missing for most of you. Momentum, that's it. So emails from customers, social media replies. You had a great meeting with somebody, write down a quote that stuck out to you. Because trying to remember it the next day is really hard. Trying to remember it the next week, the next month is super hard, what they said. So you just had a meeting with somebody, write it down. Write down the highlight and how it made you feel. And post that on the wall. You need to surround yourself in a physical environment built of momentum. With daily habits that build your momentum. Because if you did that, if you woke up every day and were reminded of the impact that you're having, at least on a couple people's lives, and you genuinely felt like the work that you did matters to people, even on a small scale, it'll give you the thing that you need most, which is momentum, and the feeling of hope and belief that it's possible to keep going, to keep creating, to keep making, and that your mission is going to work out.
Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video, because you are awesome.
If you want to learn how to adopt an infinite mindset, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
Having an infinite mindset comes from you wanting people to win more than you want them to win with you. You want people to win around you, your friends, your family, your team, your customers, the people you interact with.